Hey everyone, how's it going? Hope your holiday season has been great, and we've got a great run to end the year on. I don't know about you, but I'm a fan of all things horror. I really like the indie horror game Granny, which has developed into a little trilogy, I guess quadrilogy with the remake. We'll talk more about the game here in a sec. Right now, our venerable protagonist, Grandpa, is ready to try his luck clearing out Fallout New Vegas on hardcore mode. In the first game he appears in, Granny 2, Grandpa is wielding a cane for attacking the player up close, and unlike his dear betrothed, he has a ranged weapon in the form of a shotgun. My first thought was to use the hunting shotgun from FNV, but then I realized the double-barrel shotgun exists in Fallout 3, but I actually ended up going with the caravan shotgun. This is because while the double-barrel is aesthetically more fitting for our favorite indie horror old man, the double-barrel shotgun fires once before needing to reload. Grandpa's shotgun fires twice before he has to reload. That's also true for the player if the player gets it from him. And because here in my challenge videos I'm allowed to use any variant of a weapon available to us, we'll be going with the sturdy caravan shotgun, given that awesome weapon from the courier stash I'm loving. As for the cane, that one was easy, though it doesn't quite look like the same as Grandpa's. The white gloves dress cane was the closest thing I could think of, and to top it all off, Grandpa will be wearing the Brahmin skin outfit, as I thought it was the closest to his outfit from the game, though here he's going to have a white top instead of a brown, but you know, gotta take what you can get, otherwise it's pretty accurate, I think. We'll have no DT at all, but we will get at least a slight boost to agility and endurance. I'm also allowing fragmentation mines because Grandpa sets traps for the player, and figured this was the closest I could get to some sort of trap building. You know, we gotta kill some unfortunate schmuck via reverse pickpocketing. I'm gonna do it, I promise you. Quick rundown for the uninitiated. Granny was made in, I think, 2017 by DV Loper. I guess that's developer, but I always call it DV Loper. And while I didn't play it at launch, in fact I didn't play it until 2020, it's a game that really caught my interest. Plus, I love supporting indie devs whenever I can. What really surprised me about this game was that I saw it on Steam and just figured it was a PC game. But it actually started as a mobile game, and the premise is that you're captured by a ravenous elderly cannibal and have 5 days to escape. 5 days is basically 5 lives. You avoid Granny as well as try to avoid making noise because she hears everything and will pick you out right away once you make noise, while trying to find items needed to make your escape. When Grandpa was added in Granny 2, he's basically the same, though I'm not sure if he himself is a cannibal, so I didn't take that perk for this run. I know Granny is, because of the death scene in Granny 1 where she chew toys you when throwing you into the basement. So maybe Grandpa is just being a good husband by helping his wife eat the Uber driver while he gets the actual meal he ordered. I see Grandpa being a KFC or a Zaxby's kind of guy. And my favorite part is that even in practice mode you can die. That's hilarious to me, and it was in practice mode many years ago when I played it. And I ended up getting killed by Granny's attic spider. But anyway. There are 3 games, plus a remake, which I do own but have yet to play, and it looks awesome. I might stream that at some point in 2025, and I have also not played Granny 3, but I'm eager to try it out. But yeah, it's a cool little horror game that ended up developing quite the fan base, one I'm personally a part of, and I promise you that DV Loper did not pay or sponsor this video. I'm just kind of gushing because it's a subscriber special, and I like this little series. The game is awesome, but can Grandpa be awesome here on the Mojave Wasteland? Well, I think so. For Grandpa's tag skills, I went with guns, melee weapons, and repair. Figure those were best suited for him. As far as traits go, I went with skilled and Logan's loophole. So basic what I take in the Fallout New Vegas Faction Warriors runs. What's that, you might ask? Well, you'll find some of those runs in the respective playlist if you want to check them out after this run. One other thing I like to do on this channel is come up with a fun story for the character or unit, like the NCR Heavy Trooper run. And believe it or not, I actually have a story for Grandpa. It's a subscriber special, so we can go a little nuts with this. Remember good old Dr. Boris and his seething disdain for that blasted Richie Marcus and Betsy Bright? One day, the good doctor, after a day of messing with lobotomites while missing his good boy Gabe, decided that enough was enough. Richie Marcus might not be out there, but maybe his descendant is. So he modified a lobotomite with the aid of the other doctors to create an unassuming, safe, and passive old man to trick Richie Marcus, or, his descendant. Drawing inspiration from a game he loved during the pre-war era, he and the other scientists at Think Tank successfully created Grandpa. Granny too, but they sent her far east for live field testing. Good thing she found the train station in Freeside. And much like the Cazadors, they are peaceful, sterile, and completely safe to be around. In this timeline, Wolpez's Lottery has a new winner, our protagonist. That's right, Oliver Swanick joined Mayor Stem, and getting burned alive on a pile of tires and boxcars is still a cripple, but also not really, because if you attack him, he gets up and fights back. But it turns out that this little game of chance played by Mr. Fox just may have endeared him to a sort of kindred spirit, if you will. Who better to tell the NCR of Legion atrocities than an innocent, if rough and grimy, looking old man? That's why I went with the cosmetic ghoul mod for this run, because the ghoul face is a bit more on point with Grandpa's than any of the human ones we can choose from, and modified. Speaking of modified, here's the special allocation I went with for Grandpa. 9 strength, 6 perception, 8 endurance, 6 charisma, 4 intelligence, 6 agility, 1 luck. Yeah, I dump charisma normally, but I actually needed at 6 for a perk I want to take a bit later in the run. Plus, hey, dumping luck sounds like fun. With a strength that high, we're more than able to meet the requirements for our weapons. It's just a matter of getting guns to the point where we can fully use our sturdy caravan shotgun. 6 agility and 6 perception, because we might need light step later on, and 4 intelligence because it's the bare minimum we need for the educated and comprehension perks. After that kind young man Wolpez asked us to go tell people what he did here in Nipton, we're going to make our way on out east over to Cottonwood Cove, and unlike in most of the other runs where we just let loose the barrels and come what may, nah, this time we get approached by a Legion explorer, and Grandpa tells them to be calm. He's a friend of the Legion. But, something pretty funny happens here. See, we got the quest from First Sergeant Astor, and, well, we're gonna go to good old Aurelius of Phoenix and tell him that the First Sergeant gave us this bug, and Aurelius responds appropriately and gives us a bunch of fake, by fake I mean outdated and obsolete documents to give to him, and that's gonna be a whole bunch of fun. But, well, you saw that thing with Malcolm Holmes, right? Just like, I don't even know how Malcolm Holmes got there, man. I would love to see him dodging those feral ghouls back at Camp Searchlight, as well as the ones lingering outside, and the fire geckos you can encounter while coming to Cottonwood Cove or the Cottonwood Cove Overlook. At any rate, we're gonna give Aurelius of Phoenix here this bug that First Sergeant Astor wanted us to plant. I figured it's a nice little gesture, Grandpa helping out the old youngins. Phoenix gives us some old Legion patrol notes, and it's apparently enough to convince First Sergeant Astor. He says, it's almost too good to be true. Yeah, you're right about that, buddy. Although the karma drop I don't quite understand. As we say goodbye to First Sergeant Astor, we're gonna go ahead and head on out of here, but before we fast travel, we are about to level up. We're going to hit level 5, and level 5 is gonna be great, because we can finally get melee weapons to 50, repair to 30, we want repair to 40 for something very specific later in the run. So we're going to pay good old Recon a visit here, not on behalf of the citizens of Novac, which we actually haven't done anything with them, but I wanted to come here anyway just to get a little bit of experience points. Starting things off, Grandpa uses his trusty shotgun to take out Chris Haversome. Now, in Grandpa's campaign to clean out all of the non-feral ghouls, because the feral ghouls have already been disposed of here, well, something pretty funny ends up happening during this little, shall we call it a campaign? Yeah, we'll call it a campaign. The ghouls all go back to being neutral. You see on our little compass there? Yeah, I didn't know that could actually happen here. I thought they stayed permanently hostile if we killed Chris Haversome. I remember doing this in our Colonel Autumn Fallout New Vegas run because, I mean, obviously he would do this course of action. But I don't remember the ghouls not being hostile anymore, like whenever you stay hidden long enough that they are no longer hostile, they go back to being neutral. Don't remember that happening. Maybe it did, but that run was a long time ago. I'm pretty sure it didn't, though. Anyway, the Bright Brotherhood is super easy. Their robes give, I think, 1 or 2 damage threshold, and they have weak energy weapons, which is great for us because we can repair them, get them in top condition, and sell them, and the energy cells that we accumulate from these guys will add up because in hardcore mode, ammo constitutes weight, so we always sell ammo of any weapon that we do not use or are not allowed to use in the case of a challenge here. That's one of the things I like about challenges like this where I can only use maybe a couple of weapons is because that means that we have a pretty reliable source of income based upon what we fight. Anyway, we finally got repair to level 40, we can bump up guns a little bit. and we're going to take Comprehension. I like to take Educated and Comprehension during my challenge runs because Comprehension helps immensely with skill allocation. Plus, Educated gives us more skill points. They have great synergy, in my opinion. And if this is your first video, first off, welcome. It's great to have you along for the ride. Now, if you're wondering why I was in Nipton, or I started in Nipton, basically I just play the game up until we get to Nipton, and then I just started recording. That did mean we started at a bit of a higher level, but I think that change in scenery kind of helps out with the stories we set up here on this channel. I think my favorite place we started out in so far was in Vault 3 in our Tuco Salamanca run. If you haven't checked that out yet, definitely check that one out. One of my favorite runs on this channel. Unfortunately, that bright follower's never going to get the chance to like, share, and subscribe. Now, speaking of Novac, we do kill the Nightkin for that rancher guy, and we also help out Boone by trying to track down who, ended up doing what they did to Carla, and Grandpa, well, he doesn't have any real interest in helping out. So, in an effort to aid the Legion and taking out Novac, disposing of the two snipers is the best course of action here. Now, also, we're going to go ahead and head to the terminal and grab that little con hospitality note. We'll need that for a little bit later, but we're going to bring Manny Vargas out to the front of the dinosaur and then wear that nice little beret, which will keep Grandpa's head nice and warm whenever Boone makes the fatal mistake of trusting a complete stranger with this task, which I don't really blame him for doing because of how he feels about the townspeople and vice versa, but this creepy horror icon was probably not the best person to ask. So as we make our way back to Boone, we're going to remove his eponymous beret, head on back up the dinosaur here, talk to him. That's it then. How did you know? Grandpa's like, nah, I just wanted you to do it for me. Save me the ammo. And as Boone becomes hostile, we go straight into VATS mode. We take a bit of damage, but 3 shots sends him out of the maw of the dinosaur. I think Grandpa still got some solid aim. Well, let's go celebrate the success of this quest by hitting up Camp Forlorn and Hope, and this time around, we're gonna be taking them out by siding with Nelson, helping out Dead Sea, who likes to say, oh, it's a stalemate because Kaisar ordered it. Now, let Grandpa show these young'uns how it's done, alright? After we take out Dr. Richards, and we killed the patients in the tent, too, we're gonna go up to this NCR trooper here who clearly didn't hear any of the commotion, go ahead and paint the sandbags with the insides of his skull. We head back inside of the tent and take cover to avoid the trooper coming our way, and turns out, as we exit the tent again, it's Major Pilati. Unfortunately, don't quite get the sneak attack on him, but we're really not going to need it. All he's got is a 9mm pistol, and we've got our trusty Grandpa shotgun. If we can get these guys one-on-one, like with Pilati and this NCR MP here, we're pretty okay, but we took a lot of damage despite the fact we didn't get hit too much. Again, a Brahmin skin outfit and not exactly reliable for protection. Clearly, these whippersnappers just don't appreciate the old ways. I like how Tech Sergeant Reyes just runs from Grandpa, even though she's got 2 other soldiers in here who can protect her. Although, to be fair, there is one who's still kind of playing around on the chalkboard until we get his attention. You know, maybe Dead Sea was right about the whole stalemate thing. Maybe the real reason he doesn't want to come over here is because he enjoys scaring these guys way too much. I mean, half these guys aren't even paying attention to what's going on. And we're going to head back on over to Good Springs to instill some real terror into the citizens of this little settlement here by helping out the powder gangers. I like to think that this is Grandpa's attempt to try to connect with the younger generation. Be hip, be cool. Well, unfortunately, not very cool for Sunny Smiles, as she too gets her head blown clean off by Grandpa. I do like that the last defender of Good Springs was Cheyenne. She was a good girl who unfortunately had to be put down. And we're not done helping out the powder gangers just yet, making our way to the NCR. We do Eddie's 2 small and very easy quests, and now the NCR have invaded the correctional facility that they lost control of, and we're about to do something real hilarious here. Pop a stealth boy, and then just take Grandpa's walking cane and crack NCR troopers until they fall. Yeah, our Stealth Boy RNG wasn't the best I've had here on this channel so far, but wasn't too bad all the same. I like to stop to Repcon because killing Nightkin or looting the dead ones has a pretty decent chance of dropping a Stealth Boy, plus you can get the one from the Good Spring safe. And continuing Grandpa's campaign to bully the NCR out of the Mojave, here at Boulder City, where we should be meeting up with Jessup to try and get some information on Benny, because Grandpa just knows about it. He listens to the radio a lot, you know? This is actually pretty challenging because there is a small little platoon of NCR troopers and their service rifles, because apparently when they're using it, they have trigger fingers that turn it into semi-automatic weapons. So it's imperative that we let the Great Cons take the brunt of the fire, and of course we're going to get aggroed by one or two of them. Not too much of a problem. We have some healing hotkey, helps out quite a bit. We'll pop right into VATS mode and dispose of the last useless NCR trooper. Go ahead and loot the dog tag. Man, Aurelius of Phoenix is going to look at that pile of dog tags and be like, yo, okay, well, welcome. We consider you as a brother of arms, amigos. Now, even though we have been destroying the NCR at every turn, well, usually we go after the Fiends, but not this time. You'll notice that they're friendly to us. I have a mod installed that makes the Fiends friendly and restores a bit of cut content, which isn't too relevant to the run, other than the fact that we're vilified with the NCR already, and that was before we even made contact with the Fiends, so the Fiends kinda like this old man too. Bro can definitely hold down his chems, which he refers to as his medication. And I told you guys we were gonna get a reverse pickpocket kill, so let's try and get the rest of the first recon, shall we? Yeah, they just came with us even though the NCR hates our guts, but that's fine with me, I guess. Maybe they just don't take this grandpa protagonist seriously, but now that they're about to lose the first recon, well, maybe that'll change. We also did kill an NCR hit squad before coming here, so maybe not. No way would Kaiser be this lenient with a guy like this. It's a shame we weren't able to reverse pickpocket Sterling there, but you know what? It's going to make this all the more challenging. We have to take out Sterling, 10 of Spades, Corporal Betsy, and Sergeant Bitterroot. And boy oh boy do they deal a lot of damage to us. First up, Corporal Sterling goes down, and then 10 of Spades. I've been wanting to get some revenge on this guy because I was really mean to this dude in the Tuco Salamanca run. And I swear, ever since then, Driver Nephi has been getting headshots specifically by him. Betsy's down in. Bitterroot does a good bit of damage to us with his hunting rifle, so we're going to go into VATS mode and take him down. Well, I think we've done all that Grandpa wants to do out here in the Mojave Wasteland, so next up we are going to head up New Vegas, turn in some snow globes, and then use the Lucky 38 VIP card which we got from Camp Golf to just brazenly walk on into Mr. House's chamber. This was actually pretty tough too, because we got shredded by those 9mm submachine guns. As we finish up with the terminal, you'll see that here in a second. Now, I did do this on my first try, but if we were a bit slower on the mark here, we would have been done. I think the hotkeyed healing items really helped out here as well. And I mean, just watch this awesomeness. When are we ever going to get to kill Mr. House with the White Gloves duress cane? Probably not for a really long time. Alright, let's move on over to Benny Boy. We'll go ahead and attack him with our slug rounds. I've actually been using that for quite a bit of the game, because I want to save our standard ammo for Hoover Dam. Anyway, he went down quick as usual. We're going to go talk to Yes Man, and then unlock the option to talk to the receptionist at the Emeritus for something a little bit later. Speaking a little bit later, 40 repair plus 20 from the Fiction Things magazine and comprehension. We don't got to worry about those sentry bots, and, well, Kaiser wants us to blow this place up, so that's what we're going to do. And what's great about battling the Protectrons here is that they frequently drop scrap metal, and we can use that to boost our reputation with the boomers when we get to them. Oh, and for those of you who have been with the channel for a while and know the whole no VATS rule for characters who don't have Pip-Boys, well, Grandpa's not in Fallout New Vegas, so I'm using VATS mode anyway. I don't think I explained it in the Kellogg run, though. Whoops. Kellogg's a cyborg, and I figured he would have an ability kind of like that with the cybernetic implants that we can loot off of him that actually don't have a purpose in the game other than selling. So yeah, I just needed something to talk about while this footage plays out here, because we're not in any real danger. Now, the group of Mark 6 turrets by the Platinum chip install, what is that, a terminal? Would have been dangerous, but we didn't have to bother with it, and we prevented the sentry bots from attacking us, so we're good to go. Next on up, we're going to head on over to the field shack here. I got this place on our fast travel already, and going to come in here, loot everything. I didn't do that yet, obviously, as you're seeing on screen. And nothing too impressive in here. We can sell the Kid Abel and BB gun, which sells for about 250 bottle caps on average, although our charisma is a little bit higher, so yeah. Probably be worth a little bit more. And look who's here to greet us and congratulate us on our 1250 sub milestone. It's none other than George Boy. And, oh, we got 2 ways to kill this guy in this run. And I'm thinking, you know what, we're going to go with the dress cam because same logic with Mr. House. When are we going to get to do this again? Certainly Caravan Shotgun, I'm sure I'll be using again at some point. And for those of you who are unsure about why I just did that, well, I killed George Boy in my Faction Warriors routing because he drops 427 bottle caps. That's a little over a fifth of what you need to pass the credit check upon entering the strip. But we passed the artillery barrage, taking a bit of damage, and we're going to cut right to when we raise the bomber because we do this in every run. I think Grandpa would actually really like the boomers. They share his appetite for destruction, if you will. And hey, speaking of destruction, remember how I said earlier in the run we talked to Yes Man to unlock the option to talk to the receptionist to interact with the Omertas? Well, we don't have to do this for Kaiser, but you know what? I kind of want to do it anyway, because it's pretty fun to side with Big Sal and Nero every now and then. Once Big Sal has Kachino executed, Big Sal cuts you in on what they're doing, and all you gotta do is get the weapon shipment from those fiends, and then you can go buy chlorine from Ralph from Mick and Ralph's. There's also a box of chlorine you can steal from the White Gloves if you really want to, but the safe option is to go to Mick and Ralph's, because Ralph is just inexplicably selling a container of chlorine. Basically, Clandon is being tasked with building a bomb of chlorine to gas the strip later on. That's right up Grandpa's alley. If only Granny could see this. I always thought that this reputation loss with the strip was kinda silly because, like, they don't know what Big Sal and Nero are up to. Considering Kachino's reputation as a creep, shouldn't it be the other way around? Now, well, on to the next casino here. Now, because this is a Granny-themed run, you know, even if we weren't helping out the Legion, we gotta help out Mortimer here with the White Gloves, right? And in true Granny fashion, we have to lock somebody up somewhere, although Veronica is not going to get the 5 days that Granny would leniently give her. No, we're doing this right here, right now. Unfortunately for Mortimer, he's got a pretty important VIP locked away in the freezer. And here's where I think I made a little bit of a mistake, not gonna lie, is that when we're talking to Ted Gunderson here, I never picked the last option before, and I was like, you know, it's the Grandpa special, we're gonna do it. And then Ted Gunderson's like, yeah, you know what, we can have Dad kill those white shoes, and Grandpa's totally on board with that idea. Now, strap in, folks, because something kind of awesome happens, and I absolutely did not mean for this to happen. This is what happens when I have a little bit too much fun with these challenges. But before we get to that, as we bring Ted back to Heck Gunderson, because I hadn't talked to Heck at all and just went straight to Mortimer, I was never able to get the quest to look for his son, so we don't get anything for it, which is a real darn shame. But as we make our way to Mortimer, maybe I didn't botch this because he is still talking to us. I thought if you said that he doesn't talk to you, but apparently so, which I guess that's cool. That's what I was thinking until we go to Marjorie, because I also had not talked to Marjorie. I just went straight to Mortimer as soon as I got here. And when you talk to Marjorie and propose an alliance with Kaiser's Legion, she says no, so you're supposed to help Mortimer, right? Well, Mortimer's not talking to us anymore. Oh no, like, we left him a gift and everything, man, what a jerk. He's talking about Grandpa being a double-crosser. I mean, we betrayed our companion so we can have some lunch. I don't know why he's calling us a double-crossing snake of all things. Well, we might as well take advantage of the Legion's safe house and kill veteran Atticus here, which was pretty awesome because we hit him in the leg and his head exploded. This game, man, I swear. Never gets old, I love it. But we're also here because in subscriber specials, I allow myself to upgrade, and we're going to give Grandpa an upgrade in the form of Lucky Shades, so it's not really an upgrade at all because our luck is 1, but Grandpa is now going out in style as we make our way to Hoover Dam. Yeah, obviously we couldn't help the NCR, the El Dorado substation. I used the NCR engineer jumpsuit trick I told you about. And you'll notice that we didn't interact with the Brotherhood of Steel at all. Yeah, I had Veronica open that place up, and, well, because we didn't have to kill them, Grandpa just kind of left them to their own devices. And you'll notice how the Great Cons here actually take quite a few hits to put down. Yeah, we helped them out too as soon as I realized I botched with Kaiser's Legion there. And yeah, I do realize I could have killed Mortimer and Marjorie and made progress, but I didn't want to do that because I stopped and thought about it. I was like, you know what? That little botch of mine is classic RPG design at its best, where if you mess up, then you just kind of have to deal with it. Again, killing Marjorie and Mortimer would have allowed us to progress with the Legion, but since I didn't want to do that for this run, because I wanted to bolster the Legion as much as possible, I just avoided going that route. I had intended on making Legate Lanius the new Kaiser, because we beat him up quite a bit on this channel too, so I was gonna cut that guy a break, but not this time. But yeah, the Great Cons mod I was talking about, it's called Great Con Toughness. You can find the name of the mod and all other mods I use being credited to the respective developers in the description of every video I post on this channel. I figured if Grandpa's gonna help out the Great Cons so that we don't have to fight them here, the ideal course of action would be to have Papa Con send the cons out in one last blaze of glory and fight everyone who is not the courier, or Grandpa in this case, here at Hoover Dam. As we advance, we have to battle 2 Kenturians and a Prime Legionary. Gonna sneak behind the sandbag here. I guess they didn't see the Grandpa with the sunglasses. Well, Prime Legionary goes down to a case of getting hit in the leg and then the head comes off. Don't you hate it when you stub your toe and your head just falls off of your shoulders? And nice Bloody Mess kill on that Kenturian back there. Obviously, we took Bloody Mess. I mean, this is the run to take it. It's pretty... I feel like it's a requirement for Grandpa to take that. And hey, I'll never say no to a 5% increase in damage clear across the board. As we advance towards the control room as it's guarded by the most dangerous duo to grace the Mojave Wasteland, we're gonna go ahead and slap Bleak Venom onto a cane and hit a trooper and still infect him with the venom. And then we're gonna do it to his buddy and then just beat him down. Yeah, that's NCR Heavy Trooper armor at its finest. It can't withstand Grandpa's walking cane. Yeah, that's about on brand for NCR Heavy Trooper armor. I know what's funny is that my botch with the Legion actually ended up kinda working out because my whole goal with Grandpa was to unleash horror upon the Mojave Wasteland, which is why I wanted to make Legate Lanius Kaisar, right? Well, let's see here. The Powder Gangers are running amok. We killed the Ghouls at Recon, so radiation's gonna flood Novac. The Legion is pretty much everywhere in the Mojave right now. And the Brotherhood has been left to their own devices, and, well, we know how that goes. And the real cherry on top, we have destroyed all power at Hoover Dam, rendering it completely useless, and the NCR's time in the Mojave has been a complete waste of time. So, you know what's awesome? How we helped out the Boomers earlier for Kaisar? Well, the bomber just obliterated this strip here, but the Kenturians are fine. So did they help the Legion still and kill the NCR who are stationed up here? That's kind of awesome. Well, I've never seen that before. I do like how in this game I'm still learning about new things that you can experience through things that you do, or in my case, mess up on. But you know what? I enjoy the added challenge here, and well, that Kenturian goes down, so we're gonna sneakity sneak our way on over to the Legate's camp, and we're gonna cut past fighting the Praetorians. You can just kite them with the shotgun if you want to, which I did mostly. And now, because I had intended to fight General Oliver at the very end, which I guess technically we can still do, I did not plan for fighting Legate Lanius in any way, shape, or form, so let's see how this goes. This might be the first time he actually kills us here on this channel. So as we make our way on over, still under the effects of the Stealth Boy as well, thanks to Logan's Loophole plus Day Tripper, we're going to use up the last of our fragmentation mines here to lay a little path for him to run over. Go ahead and switch to our sturdy caravan shotgun, take aim, and lure Lanius and his two Praetorian cheerleaders down after us. And gotta say, dang, bro made a beeline for us, so gonna go ahead and use some of Grandpa's meds here to power up. Now, Grandpa does have Super Slam, and that's going to be absolutely pivotal in this fight. But the problem is that the Praetorians also deal a lot of damage to us, so gonna go and pop some more food and more healing. And we got quite a bit of turbo here. I made sure to stock up extra this time, and if you're curious where you can get some turbo, pretty much guaranteed, on screen right now is the locations of where you can find turbo. There is one hidden in the room with Jessup whenever you're talking him down or you fight him or whatever. I'll make sure to show where that is in the next run. It's a little hard to find. And as you can see and probably guess, trying to beat up Legate Lanius with a dress cane is going to take quite a while. Thing about this weapon too is that it has very low durability. Thank goodness I still have some weapon repair kits on hand. I'm not kidding, check this out. Grandpa is beating Legate Lanius so hard with his cane that it's about to break. Use the weapon repair kits, Legate Lanius goes down, and now we just have to fight 3 veteran legionaries. So actually 4, there's one up on a hill trying to pot-shot us. Should be fun. Now, we only have to kill these 3 veteran legionaries before we can get the gate to blow up, or General Oliver blows up the gate, the front entrance, whatever you want to call it. But with this veteran legionary right here, you're going to take him out. We're at a bit of a disadvantage because the shotgun's not great at ranged combat. I'm sure that's not surprising to hear, and he definitely has that advantage over us. But as we get ready to square down with this lone legionary here, something pretty interesting happened. I guess it's because we were under the effects of the Stealth Boy that we were able to get out of combat a bit faster here. As we go from danger to hidden, I have a bit of an idea. I guess the legionary does too, because he ends up running straight for the gate here. I guess maybe he wants to try to cut us off at the pass or something. Well, that's the last mistake he ever made. As he does so, the front gate explodes as it does, sending that legionary flying. And well, as for General Oliver, we don't have the checks to talk him down. Not that we would anyway. And since Yes Man is naturally just a touch upset that we blew up the Securitrons because we were helping out Kaisar before, I figure he'd want to take out some frustration on the NCR Veteran Rangers and General Oliver. And boom, that's the run, baby. I hope you had fun with it. I had a blast with that run. On screen now are some runs that you can look forward to in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I will catch you at the next video. And if I don't hear from you folks, see ya in 2025.